Hey guys, me again, Workslayer with this. So where we last left off, let's see, checking. Where we last left off. Deku and Tsuyu just got done with their date. The gang had followed them and they learned out. Grundy was actually taking lessons from Deku on Christianity, as Deku had read to him the Bible. As they were confused and they didn't know what was happening. And so that's how that turned out. I believe I went over last part about how Sludge and them got the thing ordered and how Sludge would go underground to help Gang Orca with some of the villains root out what he can. And in a way, Gang Orca will try to get him pardoned, as he's trying to keep this guy, like Sludge and them, close to his chest. Because he feels like that there probably is a bit of corruption inside, like the little hero units and all that. So he's taking this as an opportunity to help weed out some of the others. That if Sludge can pretty much get information on who are the rats inside the forces. So that's how that's going. There we go. But anyways, I'm going to cut to Deku and them going to UA entrance exam. As I'm going to give a quick little rundown. Deku actually tried to get in contact with Sludge and them, but they've sort of just tried to put it off continuously. So that way they seem like nothing's going on. They just explain it as the construction business has been really, really busy, and that they're all working together to try and save up and buy a house so that way they can get out of the little apartment they're living in. As they say, it's not a nice apartment, but a house seems so much better. As Deku somewhat agrees with this, he's like, a house would probably be better with your size. Besides, I'm pretty sure, as he actually talks with Luna and all of them about this, he's like, do you guys actually do anything other aside from work and hang out? It's like, as Luna, Looney, Jackster, and Sludge is there at the moment, questioned, what do you mean? He's like, do you guys actually like hang out with, like, go on dates or something? He's like, because I thought you two were dating. As Looney blushes like crazy. She's like, wait, what? As then Jackster's just like, as he's like, kid. Looney's like in her 20s. You realize that? He's like, yeah. And I'm in my early 30s. Almost late 30s, almost early 40s. He's like, so, just like, as they're like, kid, that's a pretty big age difference. He's like, are you 18? Are you above the age of 18, Looney? She's like, yeah. And he's like, what about you, Jackster? He's like, yeah. As they're both really confused and actually just really embarrassed about what Deku's saying, pretty much. Like, he does not know anything about this. As is like, then there shouldn't be any problem. It's like, kid, you won't understand. It's a adult thing. As Deku's like, well, yeah, you got a fair point there. He's like, I don't know that much about dating since I just started dating Tsuyu. And it's just like, oh yeah, you went on a date with that little frog girl. How'd it go, by the way? As they're trying to divert Deku's attention away from this topic, they're like, please just get, as Looney's just like, as this is Jackster's talking, as Looney's just like having like a little fit of embarrassment. As she's like, I wish Sludge was here, he would know what to do. She just like runs into her room and just hides. As Deku's like, you made Looney go run to her room, Deku. He's like, sorry. So are you gonna ask her out? He's like, no. Alright. She's too young for me. She needs some guy younger, alright? And it's probably somebody a bit different. He's like, as Deku thinks about it, he's like, you two are similar to pre-opposite of each other. So, see, it wouldn't. He's like, that would probably work perfectly. He's like, what do you mean that would probably work perfectly? As Deku explains, opposites attract. As he's like, Deku, I'm not talking with you about this anymore. If you don't change this topic right now, I'm hanging up. He's like, as Deku's like, oh, come on, it ain't that. As Jackson's just like, boop. Deku's like, he hung up on me, dickhead. As that's how that goes. As we cut over to UA, the entrance exam. Yeah. As we're checking out the whole little area thing, Deku and Tsuyu arrive as a thing, but they're gonna do a quick little thing about what's happening with the rest of them, Kevin and them. As they're talking about it, Habuko says she's got her hero, that the hero school she wants to go to, and then Kevin and them are actually joining up on a working together to go in at a lower type hero school. As they say that's actually, they seem to specialize, since UA specializes in everything, but they want to try to go for the hero course, so they'll tackle on one of these lower ranked hero schools, or mid-ranked hero schools, like just before UA and stuff like that. As Deku actually takes him out for one last boys' night out in the town, just so that way they can remember each other. As the day comes where they actually all have to say their farewells, as Deku and Tsuyu are walking to UA. As they're both actually really nervous, as Deku's like, as he's a bit like, actually sort of like more hunched over and just like he's more nervous. And his body language reflects this. Also, as you guys know, he got one for all. He's actually got a pretty good handle on the percentage, since his body is more ready for it than like Deku's in canon. Because, he's almost a 7 foot tall bound of muscle and fury. So, as he has since he has that, power and musculature to hold all that power in, he doesn't really use it. He uses it very smallly, though. Like, he'll use it for boosting his normal strength. Let's say he need to pick up, I'm going to say he's going to be able to, pick up a few tons on his own, thanks to his, specialized physiology. Let's just say, 3 tons. Well, with one for all, or at least, let's say, 10% of it is what he'll use for starting, to boost himself. He'll use it, and then it boosts his thing up to, let's say, I'm going to say everything boosts quite a bit. So, maybe, it'll go up to 60,000 pounds is how much he's able to lift. Alright? Seems simple enough. But, of course, one for all is about accumulating more power over time, so 10% will always increase. So, and it's really hard to get a definite on it, since you also know, with All Might's United States of Smash, it can be pushed beyond its limits, for at least a host. It aligns with the user's will and such, so they can push it to normal, even greater heights, thus plus ultra. I've been talking for a little bit. But anyways, aside from that, Deku and them, best way to say it is, Deku and Tsuyu arrive at UA and are getting ready to go in. As they're walking, Deku and Tsuyu are talking, as Deku's just looking around them, scanning the area around him like he typically does. He always likes to keep a lookout around them. As he sees a few students that stand out, he sees a pink girl with horns on her head, standing next to a kid with black hair and sharp teeth. He sees a blonde delinquent, just walking weirdly, as he's like, ugh. He sees a girl with brown hair tripping. He's like, wait, tripping? As he walks over a bit faster, as he picks the girl up from falling, he's like, you good? He's like, you're good. I'm trying to remember how I did the voice. Are you okay? As he asks that, as she gets freaked out by his voice, she's like, what the fuck? She's like, what the hell? As she freaks out, as she looks behind her and just sees this towering monster, this behemoth behind her, and she's like, oh god. He's like, I didn't frighten you, did I? It's a bit different than how I've done it before. If I go too deep into it, my throat gets really dry, and it's just like, ah. I can do, like, for special little parts, though. I'll try to remember how I do it. Oh. I have respect for voice actors. But anyways, Asuyu, like, comes around, he's like, Midoriya, what'd you do? She's like, oh. He stopped her from falling. As he walks over, she's like, you okay? As Zororoku's like, and she's like, I know he's been intimidating, but, he's a good guy, and, my boyfriend. Come on. As she says, little Crocky's like, I said don't call me that. And she's like, I like it. You're being called it. Because it's cute. As he's like, they don't listen. Damn you, Looney. So they walk in. As he looks around, he's like, if I sit down here, I may end up blocking a couple of people's views. So he haunches down a bit more. As he sits down, as he and Suyu are next to each other, as he's sitting down, he's like, as he's doing a bit more heavy breathing, since he's a bit more nervous, as Suyu's just like, she rubs his arm to try and keep him calmed down. But as he's doing this, like as they're listening to President Mike explain the whole situation and how everything goes, it's a bit like this. As you see Tenya Ida stand up, he's like, excuse me, as he gets on his whole spiel, and then he points at Deku, he's like, why are you breathing so loudly and grossly? The others here are trying to, trying to focus, as Deku's just like, shut it, glasses, I don't care, size, I'm nervous. What, you ain't nervous? It's like, of course I'm not. Heroes must be confident in themselves. We're not heroes. Oh, we are. Or students looking to become some. I think I'm changing the voice a bit. Oh, that kills me. I'm gonna try to talk normally as they go back and forth for a tiny bit until Suyu just sort of taps Deku's arm as he's like, alright. As he just shouts, shut it! We're trying to get back, we're off track. Please continue, Mr. Mike. It's like, well, thank you, little listener. Or, as he sort of laughs, not so little listener. As Deku's just like, as they go back to it, as they're watching, Deku's like, that 0 pointer's gonna be trouble. I know it. As he's there, as he gets a ringing, like, bzz, as he answers, as it's Killer Croc, it's like, hey kiddo, how's it going? It's like, it's going fine. Or, Dad, he's like, oh, you're nervous as hell. He's like, what? No. It's like, yes, you are. You just called me Dad. You only say that when you're really happy or extremely nervous and don't know what to do. You did that with Suyu when you two had your eye. He's like, all right, shut up. He's like, hey, watch it. I mean, father now is just like, I apologize, but you're nervous, kid. I get it. But listen, it's perfectly fine. It's UA. I went there too, and trust me, it's nerve-wracking as hell. It's like, thank you for understanding. It's like, oh no, you're gonna ace it just fine, so quit being so timid and scared. You'll win it, and you'll own it. I'm like, yeah, I'll win it. It's like, thanks, Dad. And he's like, no problem, kid. Good luck. So he hangs up as it's like, oh. As he stands up to his full height as he takes in a giant breath of fresh air. He's like, all right. As he gets ready, Sorry. So he gets ready. As he actually starts pushing in closer, as he bumps into a couple of people, he's like, sorry, excuse me, sorry. As he gets ready, as he's like, he opens his eyes as he's ready, clamps down on the ground. As in those doors first open, he rushes and he immediately just tries to pass through him, actually using a bit of one for all to boost him up. And unlike Deku in the original, the lightning doesn't come off him since he has enough power to store it all. Enough, like, the ability to store it. As I think that's theory I heard is that the sparks come off when the power, like, a bit overflows. So Deku is running as he smashes through multiple robots. The first couple of 30 seconds of the round, as it's like, and there you go, kiddos. He's already off. There's no stars to a battle. Get out there! As everybody rushes out, as Deku's just like, smash the stuff aside and help those who need helping. As he sees a girl about to get hit in the back by a one pointer, he jumps over and kicks it into a wall. As she freaks out after seeing him, as he's like, "Watch out!" As he does a hammer fist down on top of the robot in front of her head. As she's like, sorry. As he sort of lets off like a little gator sound. Let's say he's like, "Watch yourself. Always check your back. Villains like to attack from behind. Trust me, I would know." As he continues on, just moving along, always giving like little helpful tips. Deku eventually has racked up quite the number of points. At this point, he's about tied, let's say, with Bakugo. As how much he would have. As then he's looking around, he's like, I should probably back off, give others time to gather points. As then they hear, the whole crashing sound as he sees the 0 pointer, as he's like, it's not worth taking. As he goes to move backwards, but then he sees Araka trapped underneath the rubble, like in canon. He's like, he rushes over, throws the rubble off her. As then he jumps backward as the robot's foot comes crashing down. He's like, alright. Hey, can you make yourself weightless real quick? And she's like, yeah. As he's like, alright. As she does it, as then he throws her as he jumps away. As he does that a little bit time, he's like, know what? This 0 pointer is really irritating. I'm killing it. As then he charges more one for all. As he does it, he actually concentrates it in his legs, quick bit. As he jumps up, launching himself from wall to wall to make it seem like he isn't just doing one singular vertical jump. As he jumps from wall to wall and actually climbs on the 0 quite a bit. He gets on top of it as he brings up both his fists for a double hammer fist, smashing him into the head of the 0 pointer. As its head caves downward, as its neck below breaks, as there's just explosions just raining down all over the robot. As it stops there, as it goes, as it falls over slowly, as Deku rides it down. As its heads crash just in front of all the other participants, inside his area at least. As he stands there, he sort of looks out to them as he lets off a roar of victory. It's like, that's how it's done! As everyone's in shock of how he just demolished that thing. As they're like, I am not gonna fight him, you kidding? As then he walks past him as he sees Araka still floating up the air. As he's like, you can drop now. She's like, oh, thank you. As she drops down, she's like, I think I sprained my foot. As he takes her over. Toiks out of it. No. Takes her over to Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl's like, hey. Okay. You seem hurt. She helps her up as Deku gives a bow to recovery girl. It's like, I'll see you when school starts, Izuku. Or Mr. Daniels. He's like, yo, no problem. Thank you, recovery girl. As he leaves. So that's gonna be in the middle of that real quick. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Hope you guys continue to enjoy this. And yeah, next part is gonna be the first day of UA and how everyone else did on their hero test. Anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.